What's up, advocates? No, it's not Vince Perri, not today. This is the Commercial Claims Advocate Takeover with yours truly, Rico Garcia. And in today's video, what we're going to be talking about is how we can go ahead and make more money by attracting more customers that would have gone to the competition. But before we start diving into all of the nitty gritty and all of this really exciting stuff, we got to roll the really cool Vince Perri intro. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Hey, what's going on, advocates? My name is Rico Garcia, and I'm the founder of EcoTech Pro. But more importantly, today what we're going to be talking about is how we can attract more customers directly into your business, and more importantly, how we can go ahead and ethically spy on the competition that is doing really well with their ad spend dollars. And the method that we're going to be doing that by is by looking at Google Ads and what these big players or bigger players in the market are actually doing, and more importantly, how you can do this quickly, effectively, and with cutting down the overall testing that's necessary, because you're going to be piggybacking off of the testing that these people have already done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a couple of things with you on the computer, and then I'm going to walk you through the overall mindset and the strategies that you can go ahead and implement in your business. And I hope that you go ahead and draw some value from this, or at the very least, it really gets the wheels turning, because to give you a little bit of a testimonial with regards to what Google Ads has the potential to do, that is when we entered the mold remediation space, right? The water mitigation space. Nobody knew who we were. We weren't affiliated with any large organization. We had zero relationships in the business. And what we had to do is find a fast, quick, and effective way to get directly to the consumer. The way that we did that primarily was through Google Ads. Google Ads allowed us to go from literally zero to a multiple seven-figure company by being able to integrate Google Ads into our main marketing campaign strategy. So hopefully you can go ahead and kind of get the wheels turning and implement some of this stuff and see your business go ahead and explode as well. So the very first thing that you want to go ahead and do before you even start thinking about what Google Ads, what an appropriate ad structure should be or anything like that, the first thing that you should be looking at is who are all of your big competitors. That's it. Identify all of your big competitors. Now, there's a couple of tools that I'm going to share with you. One of them, which is my favorite, is called SpyFu. Now, SpyFu, which looks exactly like this, is a very simple platform to use. Basically what you do is after you do a Google search, right? Let's say you're doing public adjusters in Los Angeles or public adjusters in Miami. What you want to do is you want to identify all of these people here that have been running ads and that have been running ads successfully. Now, once you have identified a couple of these competitors, if you will, what you're going to do is you're going to pop them into a tool like SpyFu. Now, SpyFu is going to do several things for you. And what it's mainly geared to do is to cut down your overall research time. And by cutting down your research time, this is going to make it very, very simple for you to go ahead and have your finger on the pulse of what the market has been responding to, right? So to give you an example, if we were to go ahead and look at SpyFu here, I typed in stellar adjusting, and we can bleep this out if it's not appropriate for me to talk about another company, but here it is. So what we're doing is we're looking at stellar adjusting, and what we can see is that they have 231 paid keywords, right? So they're bidding currently on approximately 231 keywords, right? Now, what this does is it also cuts down on your overall research by trying to identify some of their top competitors, which in turn, if you're a public adjuster and you don't really know who your main competitors are on the paid market side, the SpyFu, this tool, is already letting you know all of this information. So what you do is you go ahead and open up all of these on an individual tab, and we'll go back to these later, and this is how we're going to start doing our research. Very, very simple stuff. So before we start doing anything else and worried about account structure, this is step number one. Let's identify who the players are in the market. Great. So now that we got that out of the way, what this is going to show us is their paid keywords, and we can go ahead and see all of the paid keywords just by clicking on this and where they're driving this traffic to, right? This is also going to give you basic buy recommendations. So you can go ahead and start developing a list very, very quickly. As a side note, a lot of marketing companies, they feel that they have to justify their cost, and they tell you that it takes 30, 60, 90, 120 days for them to really go ahead and start nailing down a campaign. But the reality is you as a business owner over a weekend, if you're aggressive, can put together a very, very good competitive campaign with just over a couple of days of digging into this kind of stuff. So great. So this will give you the top Google ad buy recommendations, as well as the Google Ads history. So if we were to go up here and we go to PPC research, right? We can go ahead and click on this tab where it says ad history. And what this will do is this will give us the top ads for that competitor that we selected, as well as the keywords that those ads were triggering, right? So let's say, for example, like claims adjuster, we could take a look and we could see what the sales copy was. So if you just go ahead and find, a good competitor, you can go ahead and kind of start scrolling through their ads and see what their best performing ads were. And the best way to do that is by simply looking up here where it says top ads, and this will kind of lay it all out for you so that way you see what the best performing ads were. So great. So now that we've got that on one competitor, what we would do is basically repeat the exact same process, look at the next competitor, look at their ad history, look at the keywords that they are currently bidding on, and very, very quickly, you're going to be able to put together a keyword list just by going through this entire method. And to show you how easy this could be, all you really have to do is look at view all PPC keywords. And this right here will give you all the keywords that this particular competitor is currently bidding on. Now, take this with a grain of salt, because maybe you want to go ahead and condense it and be a little bit more targeted with regards to the kind of keywords that you're looking to bid on. But as a general rule of thumb, this is a very, very quick way to put together a keyword list and kind of take it from there. Great. So now that we know where to go to find the top competitors, right, to look at the keywords that they have that they're currently bidding on, as well as take a look at their ad history. So now we know how to identify all of this stuff, right? We pretty much have 90% of our work done. Great. So now what we have to do is we have to understand basic Google Ads account structure. So let me go ahead and show you on the screen what a normal Google ad structure should look like so you can set up your account like a pro. So let's go ahead and take a look at my screen. All right, so now on the screen, what you're gonna see is basically what a good Google Ads account structure looks like. So at the very top, you have your Google Ads account. So when you first set up your Google Ads account, it's gonna ask you for an email, billing information, phone number, things like that, basic information. That's all here on the account level. Now on the campaign level, right, you're gonna have a couple of things that live within that campaign. So under the campaign, you're gonna have what's called an ad group, and then you're gonna have within the ad group, keywords that live inside of this ad group, as well as ads that live within this ad group, right? So to make this very simple, when you're looking at campaigns and how many campaigns you need to set up, you got to think about your business, right? So let's say as a public adjuster, maybe you want to go after, let's say, cast iron pipes, right? And you only want to go after those types of claims. Well, that would be basically a cast iron campaign. Now, if you also want to go after roofing claims, then you would have to do and develop a roofing campaign, right? Because these are going to have different ad groups, and these are also going to have different keywords and different ads that are going to all kind of have this synergy that move together, right? To give you a real life example, for us, we broke down our main business services from water, mold, fire, and biohazard. So those are our four major components, our four major services, of which each one of those has a campaign, right? So this is basically an overview of what your account should look like. All right, so right now we are currently in a demo account for Google Ads. Now, what I want to share here and what I want to highlight here for you is very simple. Let's say, for example, that we're developing a campaign around mold remediation, right? Well, now remember those ad groups that I told you about, right? These are going to be where keywords are stored within that bucket. Now, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and make these as themed as possible. To give you an example, let's say that, for example, we're looking at abatement and we go down to keywords, right? So for example, in the abatement ad group, which is under the mold remediation campaign, what we're going to notice is that these words are all very similar and they're all very themed. In other words, we have mold abatement, black mold abatement contractors, mold abatement companies, things like that. So it's a very tightly themed group of AdWords that are going to be triggering this particular ad. Now, within the ad group, what we're going to have naturally is we're going to have ads. So now this is where you should go ahead and develop at least 2 to 3 ads that are based on the keywords that are inside of the ad group are going to trigger that particular ad, right? So we want to go ahead and play with some of the ad copy, some of the titles, what you do, what you don't do, some of your offers, your benefits, things like that. Now, you should have already gotten some really good ideas as far as what a good headline should be and what good ad copy should be, simply by taking a look at what some of your competitors have done. And if you can find a competitor that has run the exact same ad for multiple weeks or months at a time with very little variation, it's probably safe to say that you found someone that really hit it out of the park and was able to dial in their ad enough to where that's what the market is responding to. So this is something that could save you thousands of dollars in trying to figure out, all right, what's now that we've got some of our research already done, now what we need to go ahead and start doing is actually launching our ads. But before we launch our ads, we want to make sure that we have a very coherent ad, meaning if a person types in public adjuster in Miami, your display ad, like what's actually being shown on Google, should be very, very tightly related to public adjuster in Miami, right? Now, once they click on your ad, that should go to a web page, or more importantly, a landing page, which has that keyword, what they searched for, inside of the actual page. In other words, you want to make sure that the theme is very, very tight all the way through. What this is going to help you do is cut down on the cost of your ads. To give you an example, check out the screen, right? So let's say, for example, Google has what's called a quality score. Now, a quality score is very simple. Quality score basically is just Google's way of determining where you fall in your overall ad, right? In other words, are you better than the competition? And more importantly, how much should they charge you for your ads? The better your quality score, which basically goes up to 10, the less that you're going to pay for your ad. Now, this is accomplished by having this coherent methodology all the way through, meaning from the keywords that you're bidding on to the ads that are triggering those keywords to the landing page experience. Everything is going to have it's going to affect your overall quality score. So the goal is to try to get as good of a quality score as you possibly can. To give you an example, if you look at this, 5, let's consider that to be neutral. But if you go up to, let's say, a level 8, your ads are essentially going to be 37% cheaper than your competition. If you get a 10 quality score, which is probably the most coveted quality score that you could possibly ask for, then you're going to be basically paying half of what your competitor is going to be paying. And this gives you a little bit of an idea here on the right-hand side. If advertiser 1, you're spending $2, you have a quality score of 10, your actual cost per click is $1.61, whereas the next advertiser, right, the runner-up essentially is going to be paying $3.01. So that's a big difference when you multiply that by 50 clicks, 100 clicks, 1,000 clicks over the time that you're running your campaign. So having a good quality score by making sure that everything is really nice and tight can save you a substantial amount of money, which means that you can go ahead and have more advertising than your competitor. Just that simple, which ultimately means that you get more phone calls. That's the beauty of Google Ads. Now, obviously, guys, there's a lot of different ways that you can go about your marketing, right? There's website SEO. You've got your pay-per-click advertising, which would be things like Google Ads. You have direct response and a ton of other different ways that you can go ahead and generate business, including networking, shaking hands, and kissing babies, if you will. But ultimately, as a business owner, what you want to do is you want to get in front of the customer that is in need of your service right now. now. Google Ads is one of those great vehicles that you can go ahead and implement in your business and demystify, this entire marketing, online marketing space. It's really not that difficult. It does take a little bit of time to go ahead and get some of the basic knowledge. And of course, I can't cover everything that we needed to cover as far as Google Ads are concerned. But what I wanted to do is go ahead and get your wheels turning to show you that in fact, it is very possible for anyone to open up their laptop, jump into a couple of these tools and start identifying what a good ad is all about and how to set up a good Google Ads campaign that ultimately can get your phone ringing off the hook with customers that are ready to buy. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick little video walkthrough. Hopefully I got your wheels turning a little bit. My name again is Rico Garcia. I'm the founder of EcoTech Pro. And if you want to go ahead and have some more information about Google Ads and how to go ahead and set up your Google Ads account, definitely feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at either @EcoTechPro or @Rico Garcia Jr. Reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to go ahead and answer any of the questions that you may have. And until next time, see you guys soon.